It's Dio from ZTV. I'm standing here with Councillor Ayub Khan. Hello, Councillor.
Hiya, thank you very much.
How are you today?
Very good, actually. The weather's nice. It's a day for campaigning, so ready to go and knock on doors.
That's great, that's great. Councillor, could you tell us why is it so important to vote in this general election?
Well, you know, it's extremely important to vote in any election, but in particular this general election is absolutely critical. As a Liberal Democrat councillor in Aston, I have represented all the residents from all backgrounds for the last 6 or 7 years, and I'm the only candidate of the three main parties that actually lives in the constituency. And unless people actually come out and recognise that and vote and support the individual that has been working hard for the community, we don't get elected. Now, it's absolutely critical that people not only go out and vote, because we know the democracy in this country, people lost lives to have that democracy, the right to vote, but you can actually make a difference. You can make a change. Now, we've always had in inner city areas a lack of resources. We've got a lack of housing. Education is not of a quality that we expect from a developed country, and we want to change. And you can only achieve that change if people go and exercise that discretion, and that is to vote. Now, as an individual, I can say that I have done over 15,000 inquiries for residents of the Ladywood constituency. I am the only candidate which has children attending local schools. So when I walk out my front door, I know what the issues are.
Right.
And, you know, I want people to back me in this campaign.
That's a good thing. Another thing, as we know, recession has brought many concern in local community. What message have you got for people, for the local community?
Well, the first thing is that what I must say to the community is that this recession has come about because of some serious failures in the system. Now, who was in charge when this country went into recession? Well, the Labour Party. So, I put the blame firmly at the doorstep of the Labour Party, and I think what we must do as a community is work together. And I will certainly, if elected to the House of Commons, fight, for my patch. This constituency has the highest unemployment, the highest deprivation. It's been neglected, and it's had 13 years of Labour control. So there is a desperate need for change, and I want to create jobs. And, the Lib Dems have a fantastic policy. That is to get rid of £100 billion worth of investment into nuclear Trident missiles. Now, we don't need that. We're a developed country. We have very strong partners such as the United States of America, our European partners. No country is going to attack us. That's a waste of money, and we need to invest that into areas such as Ladywood for extra housing, better education, better quality housing, and create jobs through green resources. So we've got a whole package, but we need people to come out and make that change, support the Liberal Democrats, because we as a party have the right policies. Now, for example, immigrants, we have said that we will look at actually providing those individuals with national insurance numbers and allowing them to work so that the black market, which operates, doesn't take advantage of them. Now, if we are saying that and we're losing support in certain areas and certain communities, well, those communities that benefit from that should certainly come out and support us, because it's only through that support that we come into power. So, we're looking forward. We've got a very diverse community in the Ladywood constituency. I am also looking into arranging an event, after 50 years of, the separation in Africa with all, Congo and so forth. And, we want to celebrate that diversity, but we also want participation, and that civil participation, civil, duty, civic duty is for people to go out and vote and make sure that they vote the right person. And I can tell you now that the other two candidates actually live in London or have spent most of their time in London. What do they know about our community? And it's critical that the community understands that. It's not just about Labour, Tory and Liberal Democrats, but it's also about individuals. If you're not local, you don't deserve to actually have the support of local people.
Right, as we say, we'll bring information about the general elections in the UK, so you know exactly what's happening, so you can make your decision.
My name is Shibal Mahmoud. Comme le pasteur a expliqué, mon nom c'est Shibal Mahmoud. parliamentary candidate for Birmingham Labour constituency. To talk to you very briefly about the vital importance of voting on May the 6th.
Je voulais juste vous parler très brièvement de l'importance de voter.
There are two elections that are taking place on May the 6th.
Il y a deux élections qui vont se passer.
They are the local election where you will elect your local councillor.
Il y a l'élection locale que vous allez électer celui que vous voulez qui représente localement.
And the general election where you will be electing your member of parliament representing the House of Commons.
Et il y a l'élection générale que vous allez faire pour électer votre ministre qui va représenter Birmingham.
So I wanted to remind you that voting is a very important part of your civic duty as a citizen in this country. We all have the same aspirations in life.
Nous avons tous les mêmes aspirations dans la vie.
You and I are no different in that we want our children to succeed, we want to fulfill our aspirations, and we want to be the best that we can be.
Et toi et moi ne sommes pas différents parce que nous voulons que nos enfants aillent de succès et nous voulons que tout soit bien pour nous.
And so if I was your member of parliament, I would take that message back with me wherever I go in this constituency, that every single community is deserving of the same representation, the same level of service. So please do remember to vote on May the 6th, and I do thank you for the very warm welcome that you've given me, and I hope this is not the first time that I visit your church or attend one of your services.
Et si vous pouvez aller voter le 6 mai, et je vous remercie pour votre accueil.
Thank you.
Hi Shaban.
Hello, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you today?
Very well, thank you.
I think you attend a church today.
Yes, I did. I've just attended a service and it was incredible actually. The passion and the fervour and the belief of the people is really very inspiring.
That's great, that's great. Shaban, could you tell us why is it so important to vote in this general election?
Well, I think it's very important for two reasons. I mean, the first of those is that it's your civic right and your duty to vote. There are many people in this world who are crying out for democracy and who are giving their lives in the name of democracy. And we in this country are very, very lucky that we've had the right to vote for many, many years. And it's an important right and it affects our ability to affect change in our communities. And so it's something that we should do out of a sense of civic duty and responsibility, as well as establishing our right and protecting our right to have a say in our communities. And the second reason it's important to vote is because there's a huge choice between this in this general election between the different political parties, and of course I want people to exercise their choice in favour of the Labour Party.
That's great, that's great. Another thing I would like to know, we know that recessions brought many concern in local community. What message do you have for the local community, especially the Congolese community?
Yes, well, there is no doubt that the recession has, really set things back for people in the way in which they spend their money and live their lives. It's a global economic downturn. Nobody saw this coming. It's the worst that we've had for over 60 years. And so every single country in this world has been affected by this global recession, and Britain unfortunately is no different. And every community has been affected, whether that's the British Congolese community, the British African community, or any other community living in this country. We're all suffering, but we are also now into the upturn. We've had a number of quarters of economic growth, and the signs are there that in the coming year we will go back into economic recovery, and we're working very hard as a Labour government to do everything we can to avoid it being a double dip recession. So we don't want the country to go into recovery and then dip again into recession. And so all of our policies are there to try and prevent that from happening and to secure the economic recovery for the benefit of every single community that lives in our country.